Well, my grandfather had the dream of coming to Alaska since his family was in the fur business in the 1800s in Eastern Europe. He came from a place called Galicia, which was Eastern Poland and Western Ukraine, and he had a family that just everybody was in the fur business. There wasn't somebody who was a doctor or a lawyer. Everybody was in the fur business. So my grandfather's family came to New York in the early 1900s, where they had a union for furriers. There were about 30,000 plus furriers that worked in New York City at the time. And my grandfather's family didn't want to pay my grandfather union wages, which were good wages back then. And my grandfather, whose name is also David Green, who I was named after, he just had a dream of coming to Alaska. So he had read Call of the Wild, and he ventured out to Alaska in 1922. I like to tell people that my grandfather came on the first cruise ship to Alaska because his first stop was Ketchikan, where he opened a store. He also had stores in Juneau and Cordova and Fairbanks, and then lastly here in Anchorage. Alaska was discovered based off of the fur industry and not from the oil industry. Because back in the 1700s, the Russians were coming to Alaska, and it was rich with sea otters and with seals. And so Alaska, with their beavers, their fox, their wolves, wolverines, all different types of furs that were available here, my grandfather was able to go into the villages. My grandfather and my uncle would go out with the bush pilots into remote areas of Alaska, and he would buy the furs directly from the trappers, the hunters, the villagers, and bring them back here, and he would make coats.